ready for another lesson?
That was close.
Yeah, I went into something else at the end there.
A little bit.
Sorry.
It wasn't spot on, but, it's hard to get those high shrills of a guitar,
I'm far away from the mixer right now, so
It's all good.
have pity.
It's all good. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I am one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz. And on today's episode, we've got me messing with my mic accidentally. I apologize. But we also have a release date for an exciting documentary in the news, as well as info on a new Netflix series. In Trailer Talk, we have 3 new trailers for you today, all 3 of which kind of excited to talk about. Fairly excited, we'll see. New streaming is going to be another light week, and then we'll get to what we're watching, of course, and then our main review for the episode, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, a personal favorite of at least one member.
We should have started
the pod.
with the Tokyo theme.
It's not too late. I can...
You can insert that.
Yeah, I'll do a little, we'll put it in post.
Yes.
Just make sure there's no DMCAs.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get copyrighted if we do that.
Maybe
so
do like the first 3 seconds.
All right, that'll be worth it.
Just do the ting, 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 and then
that's all you need.
Yep.
It is all you need.
Everyone's going to know.
Joining me, of course, today is Nathaniel Gingrich.
That might be my favorite one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is
You're getting
NOS?
good at
It's
these,
nitrous oxide? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a thing in real life?
yes,
Oh, okay.
It
Did
is.
not know that.
Is that illegal in real life?
certain states. Other states you can't have it.
What would people just use it for racing? I don't see
Yes.
any. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
That's
Correct.
interesting.
110%. That's the only reason you would have it for.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to think of like a practical reason I might want to add NOS onto my car, but I
Trying to tow my camper real fucking quick.
Gonna get up the mountain, man.
Also joining me today is Tight Turn Ty, Tyler Vidalis.
Tight.
Tight ass turn, man. Got to get that
Tight.
drift going. Hey, man. Can you teach me how to drift?
Yeah, I probably could.
I think you can figure it out.
Do you
I
know
can
how to
power
drift?
slide in Mario Kart. It's the same thing, right?
I think I was like, yeah, I drive a manual in Mario Kart. No big deal.
I know how to drive a car well enough and a manual car well enough to where if you put me on an open track, I could probably figure it out.
You could probably figure it out.
I'm
Have you ever
telling you,
tried
Ty,
it?
check out
that go-kart place.
Yeah, the go-kart.
Yeah.
It's called Circuit Autobahn, man. They're gas powered. I was telling you guys last week, dude. Ty would definitely get a kick out of that. 'Cause I kind of like cars, and you like cars more than I do.
Yeah,
And that shit was super fun, man. You can try to drift and stuff in the turns because it's like a real track.
I'm
So
down.
it's not like you can just like
Trackety
fly
track.
around, pedal to the floor the entire time. You know what I mean? Like you definitely have to drive it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, you would get a kick out of that.
but
That sounds fun. Those are good kind of courses because instead you just put your foot in the gas and whoever's car goes
Exactly.
fastest, basically.
Right. No, you're definitely driving out there.
Yeah.
To get a win. Definitely driving.
For sure. Well, rounding out the squadron here, of course, is Burnout BlakeHolder.
big burnout, Blake.
Big burnout
Big
Blake.
Burnout Blake.
You guys remember the Burnout video game?
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Burnout Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Burnout Paradise. That's great game. I miss racing games.
They're still around.
Yeah, but they weren't. I
Forza?
get what you're saying, Blake.
man.
Yeah,
They're not the same. I bought.
Oh, you mean like
Need
the
for
arcade
Speed.
racers kind of thing?
Well, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2.
Yeah, I bought
Burnout.
Is it Payback? Is that the newest Need for Speed? I bought one last year, and
yeah.
it didn't hook me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new Need for Speeds are not
I
great.
still go back
Yeah.
to Need for Speed. I have a cool little
Which
garage
one?
in there.
He's still playing the
Um,
same cars.
I don't remember to be
Which
100%
Need for
honest with
Speed
you.
is
I
that?
honestly don't know
Okay.
the last one I bought. Forza was really fun.
Yeah.
Forza gets great reviews every year,
Forza
especially
Horizon.
the Horizon series.
Horizon
Yeah.
3 came with my Xbox, and it was actually really fun.
All
But
on Game
I
Pass.
just didn't play it.
This is
Gran
sponsored.
Turismo was always like that game that everybody was always talking about if you were into cars, but I was like, fuck that. I'd rather play like Need for Speed Underground or some
Sure.
shit.
Mhm.
They're like,
Most
no, man,
Wanted,
the
man, is
realism of the
100%
track.
Need for Speed, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't care about the track experience. I'm from the streets, bitch. Give me some fucking neon underglow and some subs in my car, and let's run it.
I heard that the street fights back.
Street does fight back.
Is that a reference?
I can't remember. Could be.
Sounds like a fast.
It's
Yeah, I was about to
it's
say.
either from one of the Fast movies or it's from
Like a movie poster or something.
No, from those dancing movies. What's the
Step Up or
yeah,
something.
step up the streets.
Oh, man, yeah. That's
Step
a
up to
dark
the
movie.
streets.
Yeah, Step
Channing
Up to,
Tatum.
Isn't it Step Up to the Streets? Is
Yeah.
that what it's called?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
an
yeah.
icon.
Why isn't Channing
Have you
Tatum
even
been in the
seen those,
Fast
Adam?
franchise yet? He'd be great.
He would be good for this. He's too busy playing Kingsman.
He's only got
He's
what?
Gambit.
He's only got what? 2 more chances here? How many movies?
Oh, who knows?
2 more.
Two
Oh,
more
man, they're
supposedly.
gonna rip out. Yeah,
Yeah. They,
a handful of these, I promise.
Do you think this will be
besides
one?
spin-offs.
Do you think this will be one they'll bring back in like 20 years, like a la Star Wars?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe.
Just with how much revenue they make off
Yeah.
this thing, dude. I mean, how could you not?
We'll
do
we'll
that?
get a fat or we'll get a
2015.
Fast and Furious TV series a couple of years down the road.
Starring,
let's-
starring Vin Diesel,
We're-
who
we're-
turned a solo artist, and that's what he's known for.
That's
Like
obviously
15
yeah.
years.
The musical artist formerly known as Vin Diesel
Has he
in his
released-
acting years.
Really quick, has he released any other?
You know, I
music?
haven't checked. I'm sorry, Vin. I really should have, but I haven't checked yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn on notifications for when he posts new things because I'm
Yeah,
number,
to be honest with
number
you
one
guys,
fan.
I
over
don't
here.
think too many people are checking for release dates.
Well, maybe if we get behind it now and early, we can get some grassroots
start the
support
wave.
here. Yeah.
True.
I'd like
true.
to invest.
Well, speaking of release dates, we got some release dates for Peter Jackson's The Beatles Get Back documentary, which is going to be heading to Disney Plus this Thanksgiving. It's going to feature 3 almost 2-hour-long episodes
Okay.
that are each going to be released on November 25th, 26th, and 27th. So 3 back-to-back days.
It's going to
3
be a Beatles Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I can think of no better Thanksgiving than a Beatles Thanksgiving. But yeah,
Fast
this
and
is, I
Furious
think we talked
Thanksgiving.
about this. I think we talked about this not super long ago, but at
It is
some
right,
point.
ringing a bell. Vaguely.
Yeah, but Peter Jackson had found a bunch of footage from when the Beatles made their last album, Let It Be, and he's just going through all this footage from the studio and putting it together to form a documentary with it, and going to be released this fall.
I'm interested.
Sure.
Yeah, he Nathaniel, you said you watched his other documentary, right? The World War I documentary. It was called "They Shall Never Grow Old."
I don't think I watched that, but I watched another one of his series that was dealing with. It was kind of famous directors talking about famous directors from the World War II era, and I know he produced and had a lot of the footage in that as well. Yeah, I love Peter Jackson. Let the man do what he wants.
Oh, yeah.
He's got such a weird and varied range of interests. You know, coming up making splat stick cheap horror films to obviously the Lord of the Rings and that whole franchise, which is just this monolith now. And now he kind of just does what he wants, and I like that.
I'm sure he's got plenty of money to do whatever he wants.
This is true. I think
Yeah.
he owns New Zealand at this point.
Nah, wouldn't be shocked.
They probably just gave it to him. Fucking king.
You have to
there.
buy
I
it.
wonder how much of like their general like GDP is just Lord of the Rings based. Do you think it's large?
lot.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I do you think it's double digits?
Yeah.
No, I think, but I wouldn't be
High
surprised at
single
like
digits?
an 8. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Any of you guys big Beatles fans?
I grew up on classic rock, so that was kind of like they were there. I went through a kind of a period a couple of years ago where I got into them a little bit, but I've never done like a deep dive or anything like that. But definitely,
Gotcha.
respect the legends.
Yeah. Ty, Blake.
Not really. I respect what they did
Yeah.
for the game, but it's not something that that I'm gonna go out of my way to listen to.
Sure.
Yeah. Like I said, obviously we're all aware of who the Beatles are, but I don't even think I could name everybody in that group. And that's kind of sad in my
okay.
end. But I know all of them are not alive, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're at
it's-
50% right
It's
now.
just Paul McCartney
There we
and
go.
Ringo Starr.
That's all I know.
I'm actually a pretty big Beatles fan. Not of recent, but when I was younger, I would just listen to them all the time, especially all their hits and everything. And I would even watch. They have like 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah,
and I've seen. I think I've only seen Help, but you know, I've always been a big Beatles fan. It comes from my mom, who was as well, and same thing with most of her family. So I'm really, really excited for this. Actually,
did you have you seen Across the Universe?
I've not. No.
No, you should.
What is that?
It's a musical that uses all of the Beatles songs, but it tells an original story.
Rob is a big fan of it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think
awesome.
So it's definitely worth a watch.
Where are they from?
They're all from Great Britain, different parts.
The UK
this may be
invasion.
a really stupid question. Is Kurt Cobain in the Beatles, or
He
is
is,
he in
he is
another?
very much not.
He's that's Nirvana.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of those.
The
Okay.
Beatles are John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, I think is his last name.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
And they're the 60s, 70s.
Yeah, mainly the 60s, I would say. Came over
Yeah,
early
I
60s.
don't even know if they're into the 70s. They're only together.
They
like 10
were.
years.
The Let It Be released
Really?
in 1970, so the
Yeah.
last album did.
Nirvana is from the 90s and is my favorite band of all time.
Gotcha.
Didn't know
Power
that.
to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Beatles took over that decade. They were the world's biggest thing back then, and were for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you guys think kids these days, like 10 around? Okay, yeah,
Sorry,
I understand.
sorry.
I'm 20 years old.
But you
I
you
understand.
dropped your voice into like a lower octave too. There, it's like kids these days.
Do you think like
What is your
10-year-olds?
question? Do we think kids these days
Yeah. Do you
know
think
who
they
the Beatles
know who
are?
the Beatles are?
Yeah, I do.
Oh man.
Okay.
I think Beatles are timeless.
Are they?
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do.
I think it's gonna have way more to do on like how old their parents are.
I think so.
Right,
Like-
because
like-
I mean, like that may be like their
Like,
at
are
that point that's
millennials-
going to be like their grandparents' music.
Yeah.
Like, that was your parents'
Yeah.
music. You know what I mean?
I think they'll be.
So-
I don't know. I still think they're like. Put it this way: I think people can listen to the Beatles and become a fan at
Sure.
any time.
100%.
Okay, I would say that,
I think
yeah.
their music is
The music is
certainly
timeless,
timeless.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I just don't think millennial parents are really breaking out their
Right.
Beatles on Spotify
I think
or
their
whatever.
comparison to that is like I think like you'd be stretching it to get to like a Michael Jackson or like a Prince.
Sure.
And
I
I
don't
think
know.
that may even still be like a little bit above their parents.
Mhm.
Like who the people who are children,
Sure.
what is that, Gen Y,
Z.
who are like the actual
Oh,
really little kids?
Oh, I don't even know the babies right
at
now.
like
Yeah.
born after like 2013. I have no idea what they're gonna be called.
Sure, yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, I think they're kind of looking at to that point like a Michael Jackson or something like that. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah, we'll see, man. I'm definitely excited for this, though. It's going to be nice to that it just comes straight to Disney Plus. I can kind of either just binge these or watch them each day as they come out, as I'll probably be on break. Actually, you know what? I'll probably be working, so never mind. But yeah, stay tuned for Get Back. The Beatles Get Back. But also, stay tuned for the new Assassin's Creed series that's coming to Netflix. I'm not sure if we talked about this
no.
before when it was announced, but it is in the works at Netflix, and it has found their head writer,
Ooh.
Jeb Stewart, famous writer of Die Hard,
Like the original?
the original Die Hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he has
Writing which series did we say?
done Assassin's Creed Netflix TV show.
That dude's got to be, what, 60 now at least? Like-
Yeah, I looked up his IMDb earlier. I didn't see his age, but he also did the Valhalla Vikings show that just came to Netflix.
Okay.
I don't know, Ty, if you've seen that. It seems like something you'd probably be into. Yes, no, maybe so.
I don't think so.
Jeb Stewart, born in 1956.
I don't know.
So that man is
Old.
pushing 80, and he's writing this show.
And he's writing a show about video games. I'm
Good for
sure he
him.
has not played. But yeah, good for him. He actually doesn't have as many writing credits as I thought. He only has 13 writing credits on his IMDb.
How many do you have in yours?
0.
Well, then 13's a lot.
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, 13's a lot. I'm also 20. He's also pushing 80, so we'll have to see. about
Someone
that.
check my math on that, please, because
Pass him.
Pushing like 75, something like that.
yeah, once
but
again, not
still.
a math major.
But still, yeah. Does this mean anything to you, Ty? You're obviously a pretty big fan of the Assassin's Creed series,
Yeah, I
and
think
big fan of Die Hard.
I think it'll be cool. I mean, the last time we even got a movie that was like solely based off of one of these.
Well, this is the way a
kind of-
TV show. Because we already had
Either
the
way,
Assassin's
yeah, some kind of
Creed,
film
Michael Fassbender
adaptation.
movie.
Was
Detective Pikachu.
no Prince of Persia, Sands of
Oh my
Time.
god,
I actually like that movie.
And yeah, I mean that's not like terrible,
yeah.
could be worse.
but that's got a very
Besides Jake Gyllenhaal playing a
yeah, right.
Middle Eastern man.
Yes, yeah. We can touch on that some other time.
Different conversation.
But yeah, I mean those video games have very similar elements in them as far as
Traversal.
yeah, just your overall movement and how you play things to scale, and who knows, this could be something that they could knock out of the park. The hard thing is the Assassin's Creed world is just so vast that it'll be interesting to
like
see
you're talking
where
like
it goes
time
after
periods.
this. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of lore to it.
Yeah.
as well.
And then obviously we had an Assassin's Creed movie, which wasn't that great.
I had
Didn't
see it. Did
Yeah.
you see
That
it?
movie's
It's not that great.
Okay. Some looks cool.
Definitely not on the recommend list for me. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how this plays out.
Have any of you guys finished the Witcher series?
Yeah.
Okay, I only got a few episodes in, but that received really good reception.
Yeah.
It's got a season 2 coming out. So if
Superman.
yeah, with Henry Cavill, of course. So if this gets similar treatment or is of similar quality, I could definitely see this turning out pretty well. Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. Keep
We'll
my
see.
fingers crossed.
Anything can be good, folks.
Of course. Just like Ted Lasso season 2, which we got a new trailer of.
God, the segues have just been absolute fire.
The year of potting does to you, man.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
We're coming up on a year. Ted Lasso season 2 trailer just released. I think it was either today or earlier this last week. Pretty recently though. Ty, Nathaniel, and I have all seen it. Blake has not. What do you guys think of the trailer? I mean, it's a comedy show. There's not like anything super revealing, of course. But are you guys excited?
Yeah.
Of course I'm excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first season very upbeat. It's heartwarming. It's new. It's a breath of fresh air. It's incredibly funny. So yeah, I'm excited for season 2.
Yeah, they've earned enough goodwill for me to last them at least another season past this
Probably
one.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're I think it's a great show. We've talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
But
Really
yeah,
is.
very excited by this. The only thing is it's going to be week to week, which is going to be hard because I
that
could
is
We
gonna be
binge the
hard.
shit out of it.
yeah,
Dude,
it's-
yeah, that show is so bingeable.
but
Might just binge the first season. And then, like,
But we've been doing really well with week by week things as far
Yeah.
as Mandalorian, all the
Yeah,
other
true.
Star Wars stuff, and all the
True.
other Marvel stuff that's been going on. That I think we could probably handle it. We're adults now. Patience is a virtue.
Indeed. Pretty quick turnaround from season 1 to 2. I was just looking it up. Season 1 aired August 14th of 2020,
yep.
and now season 2 is already coming out July 23rd of 2021. So they must have started right after season 2
If
or season 1
I-
aired, or
yeah, if
even
I-
before.
If I remember correctly, I don't know if they were approached or at some point they locked in to a 3-season arc. And I think with in place already, they had most of the show plotted out and everything. And so they were able to move pretty quickly once season 1 got fairly decent reviews. Like, I think they would have been kept going through the first 2 even then because Apple so badly needs a win.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that it, won a Emmy, I think it was an Emmy.
Got nominated for a few at least.
Yeah, it only, accelerated everything that was going on with it.
Mhm.
Jason Momoa's C doesn't do it for you.
That got a season 3 approval. So
I thought you said seed, and I was really confused there for a
Sworn you said
second.
Jason Momoa's seed. And I was like, oh, we're bringing his children in?
I was like, yeah, that was a wild thing. No, that didn't bring me in the first time. Maybe if it was a seed, maybe I would have been more interested.
Tom
But
Hanks Greyhound, like they got bangers on top of bangers over there at Apple.
as glowing as Papa Schwartz's review of Greyhound was, I still have not gone in on it yet. But I promise some rainy day when I'm hungover on a Sunday, I'll probably throw it on.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
yeah, Ted Lasso set to release season 2 set to release July 23rd. Nothing really. I'd love to talk about the trailer, but again, it's a comedy TV show. There's not really a lot to discuss.
Appears to be a Christmas episode,
Oh yeah, I did see that in there.
so that'll be fun.
some new interesting character dynamics, of course.
I wonder if this will pick off directly after the events of the first season, or if they'll give a little bit of break in there, or what.
They could very well pick it up, but I think they also might just skip over the off season or the
Sure.
soccer off season.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see in about a month. But we also got a trailer for Snake Eyes, yet another trailer. We had their teaser on Trailer Talk a couple weeks ago, but they released a full-length trailer.
Full length.
Yeah, it was a little bit long, but it was pretty good, actually. I feel better about this one than I did the teaser.
Yeah, this is one I'm interested in seeing, but I wish they cut 45 seconds from this trailer because now I feel like I've seen
a lot.
the entire movie.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
That being said, looks okay. Looks pretty all right.
I think at the very least, looks like it's going to have some good action sequences and everything.
Mortal Kombat's what I keep coming back to.
Yeah, as long as it can match that quality, I'd be okay with it.
That's my barometer of recent years, or of recent weeks, I guess, years.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good place to kind of have your expectations set for this one, because obviously we're not expecting anything crazy. At least I don't think you should be expecting anything crazy. It is a G.I. Joe movie, after all.
Anything can be good.
For sure. I agree, Adam.
Yeah. Anything specific from the trailer that we want to discuss? Or
I always love a good training arc. It appears that he's got 3 challenges to overcome in this one. So that's fun. I like Peter Mensah. I think I said that before. He's appearing in this. So this almost feels very much like Spartacus season 1. If anyone's seen that, that show, it appears to be following some similar storylines there. But yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I am too. This is also coming out July 23rd, same day as Ted Lasso.
Ooh,
so
double feature.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to split our time somehow. But I think we'll probably end up reviewing this. Maybe
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it looks like a good popcorn movie.
Let us know if you want us to review this.
Write in, listeners, or give us a 5-star review. We'll get to that one later. Bit of sizzle. And our last trailer for Trailer Talk is another Suicide Squad trailer. What is this, number 3 or number 4?
Yeah, do we have a teaser and then an original trailer?
I feel like we've had at least 1 or 2 teasers and 1 or 2 original trailers, but this one's it seemed to focus on Idris Elba's character.
Yes. Who is not Deadshot. It's something else.
Deadbolt.
No, I thought he was Deadshot for the longest time.
He seems to be treading Bloodsport. There you go. Could be anything.
Yeah, I this doesn't really change anything for me for this movie. I'm still pretty excited for it. I like James Gunn, and I think he's perfect for this kind of movie.
I think I'm more excited now.
Because of this trailer?
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like I sunk into the movie a little bit more.
Okay.
I got a better feel for what it's going to be. A couple of the beats and a couple of the jokes in the trailer really hit for me. So I'm more excited for this than I thought I was going to be. Love the aesthetic. Love the vibe that it's going for.
Yeah.
James Gunn obviously knows how to handle an ensemble cast. So does James Wan.
True.
So I think I don't know. I don't want. I guess I'm reticent of setting my expectations too high, but I am pretty jazzed for this.
I think I'm with you on that, and just with it being James Gunn, I mean, I'm fine to go watch it.
Yeah, I trust him, man.
Yeah, right. So you're fine with that. It can't be worse than the original Suicide Squad.
That's very true. It'd be impressive. Impressive if it was worse.
Tyler's a fan, so I'm interested to hear his take.
Yeah, are you excited for this, Ty?
Yeah, I think anytime we get the chance to explore the comic world any more than what we already have, I'm very excited for it. So I can only hope that this is good. I'm sure it will be, like you guys already said. It's probably going to be better than the first one, but as everybody knows, I probably have a little bit more of a likable relationship with the first one. I mean, only through the first 30 minutes or so.
It's a very hot take to have.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody knows what, Suicide Squad is at this point, and I don't think anybody's getting their hopes up too much around it just so they have lower expectations. So then, maybe they have the better chance of being pleasantly surprised. But again, it's into the comic book world. I'm excited about it. I think it's got a good aesthetic. It's got potential, especially with the cast it's got going on, and like we've stated, Gunn knows what he's doing. So.
Yeah, my expectations would be much more tempered if it was the same director of the first one, who I don't know off the top of my head. But the fact that
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, the fact that it is James Gunn now, my expectations are climbing up there a little bit more.
Yeah, I do want to just Pete Davidson's got such a punchable fucking face.
Not a fan?
No. I don't know why.
Let that, maybe we should adjust our King of Staten Island ranking then. Just adjust it accordingly for bias of punchable faces.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
Punchable faces
We can
do
make it
come into effect now.
Faces.
Alrighty then. Well, I think that's it. That's all we have for trailer talk. Unless Blake, did you want to say anything more on Suicide Squad?
No, I'm good, man. We can move into what is it? Adam's completely subjective new to streaming.
Yeah, pretty close there. Adam Schwartz's completely subjective new to streaming list for the week of 6/20 through 6/26. And the letter 6, the number 6 there, of course, is June, in case you didn't know. To Netflix, Godzilla Singular Point. This is a Godzilla anime series.
Which there's already been a Godzilla animated series on Netflix.
Didn't Netflix
and it's
have
a
one?
Netflix original, so I don't know what this is going to be.
I don't know.
But
either.
whatever, it's Godzilla, I'm down.
It's the first season, so it's a new show, it looks like.
Yep.
That's it to Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, and HBO Max. Nothing coming there, really. And to Disney Plus, Loki Episode 3 and Star Wars A Bad Batch. I don't know what episode it is at this point. Maybe Episode 9? Does that sound too high?
Have you been keeping up to?
I didn't put what episode it is.
Bad Batch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I have been. It's still good. It still reminds me a lot of Clone Wars, which it's supposed to do. It's part of the same exact timeline, same universe, so it's really good. I still like the attention to detail that they have around the Bad Batch, and I'm just so used to binging those that it's a little harder to grasp. So sometimes I'll let myself go for a week, and then I can watch 2 or something like that. Early
Do you
in the
find
morning.
that too as well? That like sometimes with like the shorter shows, you kind of miss that previously on Dragon Ball Z kind of introduction sometimes when you are week to week.
Yeah, sometimes. Obviously, it's there for a reason, and then when you get to all your streaming services that we have at our disposal nowadays, we just end up fast forwarding. I mean, there's even a thing for skip intro, so
Sure.
Yeah.
and that's something that every streaming service has adapted. So it definitely depends. I think it's obviously there for a good reason, and it is fun to watch. It's just so funny that it takes up like a third or a quarter or whatever you want to call it, or how you want to split it up of your actual viewing time, but you don't really realize it when you're in on an actual week-to-week basis.
Or when you're 6.
Yeah. You don't give a shit. At 6, I was totally cool with watching Goku scream on a television for
For
fucking
8 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah. And now I'm like, fuck, I know what's going to happen. Can you just stop screaming?
All right, well, that's it for the subjective streaming list. We can get into what we're watching here, and I think we're going to start it off with a little bit of Loki spoilers for Loki episode 2. So
should I hit a button?
In 1 second? Yeah. But if you have not seen... Wow. If you've not seen Loki episode 2, please go ahead and check the episode description where you can find the timestamp to jump to, where you will find our non-spoiler, well, I guess out of spoiler talks. But yeah, spoilers. Shit really goes down in this episode. My God.
Yeah, they went for it.
Yeah.
Week 2.
But it was a really good episode.
Yeah.
I was very pleased that they developed a much more plot than I was expecting them to. One episode, or I guess second episode in.
Girl Loki.
A lot happened because I kind of expected the whole buddy cop thing between Loki and Owen Wilson to go on a lot longer, and now Loki's already gone. He's already out of there.
Yeah, it feels like in some ways what would have taken other shows like an Arrow or something, or The Flash, either at least a half season to a season to develop, they did in 2 episodes, which, I'm cool with.
I'm also very cool with.
Yeah.
Let's keep that pace going on. How many episodes are there going to be? I think 8, maybe.
6, I
6.
thought.
6.
Yeah.
It was like a really weird short number.
Another one with like Falcon the Winter Soldier. But yeah.
Yeah. They're using their time effectively.
For sure.
The big reveal this week, obviously, being that the variant that they are chasing was what appears to be Lady Loki. I think it's Enchantress, but
Which is the biggest rumor going around right now.
right, just because she magics.
And
some people.
Enchantress is who?
She's another villain from the Marvel universe, also from Asgard. I want to say, Ty, maybe.
That I don't recall.
Much like her name suggests, she's an enchantress.
Yeah, of course.
Mostly does like enchanting magic where she takes control of you or whatever, brainwashes you, all that good stuff. But she's also a sorceress, I guess, too.
Gotcha. Yeah, really interesting. They ended the episode with all these new timelines being created.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So that was it was kind of crazy to see that. I'm interested to see how they kind of address that, because they established earlier, I think in that same episode, that if it hits the red line, it kind of collapses almost everything.
Yeah, I'm sniffing a red herring on that or something like that.
Okay.
It's going to be. I feel like it's going to be revealed that the timekeepers are actually malevolent and in some way keeping humanity restricted or something, or the world,
keeping
the universe
controlling
restricted.
people's free will, maybe, or something like that.
Something like that. So, and then we'll get a Loki anti-hero turn, and maybe some more Owen
maybe
Wilson.
the TVA
if they don't
is
give
the agency we thought it was.
Yeah, if they don't give Owen Wilson a jet ski by the end of this show,
yeah, I think that's how they have to sunset his character.
I might riot. I might release the jet ski cut.
That was a funny little moment he had, though, because he's just like this intertemporal being who loves jet skis.
He's my favorite character.
Yeah,
so
he's
far.
great.
He's incredible. Owen Wilson should be in more things.
Yeah, this is really showing me that he can act, and I'd love to see his personality take on more characters.
He's kind of
this.
like soft-spoken charisma. I just find very, very funny and appealing right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think you mentioned it last week. This is definitely not a role we typically see him in, but it's definitely one he's stepped up to, for sure. I've fallen even more in love with the aesthetic of everything. I didn't really quite understand everything they were going for in the first episode. I kind of was just trying to absorb all the information they were giving me.
Sure.
Now that I had time to take a step back and kind of look at everything they had and how it was set up, with the, I don't even know what the kind of aesthetic you can...
Almost like 50s Art Deco.
Yeah.
Not really, but...
it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so different, but I love it.
Yeah.
Because they have that 50s aesthetic with all the animation kind of thing, like those
Fallout.
intro videos. Yeah, that kind of thing with the AI. But like the rest, the offices and stuff aren't necessarily like 50s. They're kind of like, I just don't even know how to describe it.
It's 50s
like
palette, but with like the
like
Jetsons twist.
Yeah, exactly. It almost is like a Jetsons kind of thing. I mean, it's like, it almost feels like a 50s meets 80s kind of vibe. I don't know why.
Sure.
It's very hard to describe, but I do really like it. And if you've watched the show, which you probably have watched the show, if you're listening to this spoiler segment, you probably know what I'm talking about. Any predictions? Anything you guys want to discuss going forward?
No idea.
Yeah.
And I try not to look too much into these things so that way it doesn't spoil anything for me, because there are tons of
theories.
Yeah, just all this fan fiction and everything that's going on the internet. You never know what you're going to accidentally find out. So I just try and stay away from it as much as possible.
Makes sense.
Cool setting for the episode. I like how they went to like the future, basically, and also cool concept how it's like she hides in apocalypses and nothing she does changes the fact that the apocalypse is going to happen. That's a very cool idea to play with.
It is cool.
Yeah, and then they went to Pompeii. I thought was fun.
Yeah,
that was cool to see. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have any other final thoughts here?
No, I'm just excited to see what's coming next. Really,
Yeah,
we were talking a little bit earlier. We watched this episode so early in the week, and we are recording a day later. It's kind of hard to remember all the thoughts that I had with it too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll have to keep tabs on where this is going. I think this is definitely one. This has probably gripped me in these first two episodes, even more so than WandaVision, and definitely more so than Falcon and Winter Soldier for me personally.
Good.
Because WandaVision I did like a lot, but I was just kind of like iffy on where it was heading.
Sure.
But this one is definitely, I'm into the characters more so than the other ones, and I'm definitely into the story and where they can take it.
Sure.
I'm going to take us out of spoilers here.
Yeah, go for it.
I think my imitation's pretty good, so if you ever need me to do it, just let me know.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'll let you know when the soundboard's decommissioned.
Or if we need to record another
Welcome back, listeners who skipped over Loki spoilers. We're going to go ahead and finish out what we're watching here. Tyler Vidalis, why don't you kick us off?
Sure, I'll go ahead and just go ahead and boot this thing out of here. Bad Batch, obviously, like I said earlier, been really fun so far. I like the way they've been, like I said, paying attention to all those little details and everything. Star Wars is always really hard to capture, and you can always, lose yourself pretty easily.
Sure.
So, Filoni does a really good job. Anybody else that's involved in that whole Star Wars era that they got going on, and Disney is just doing a pretty flawless job right now. So they've been doing a great job. I'm excited to see where that goes and how they're going to hopefully transition into a second season. I can only imagine that they've already been greenlit for that. Fatherhood, Netflix movie, Kevin Hart.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Very cute.
How was that?
It's cute. It's very cute. It's very touching. I was a little apprehensive at first. Kevin Hart's obviously a big comedian person, and I told Leah it's very hard for me to pull myself out of certain places that I've already put actors, or and he's obviously done stand up, and so it's very hard for me to put him in a serious role. But he did a really good job. It's one of those cute, predictable, kind of
feel good movies.
Yeah, I don't want to call it a rom-com because it's not.
I was gonna say, is it a family movie? I don't actually know this one.
Yeah, it's a family movie. I mean, I can run through it real quick if you want, but I don't really want to spoil anything for anybody.
No worries.
What's the basic premise of it? I mean,
it's basically about him being a dad, a new dad. Some things happen in the beginning and kind of along the way, and then things kind of progress towards the end. But everything kind of
the basic outline of any story.
Yeah, no big deal.
There's some rising action.
Yeah, climax, and
Yep.
then you have your exposition.
Yep, he's got some issues towards the middle with parents and stuff like that. But it's a really cool, really cute little movie.
Nice.
Right.
French Grand Prix. Watch that.
Did you watch it, or did you watch some guy talk about it?
Kind of both.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Context.
In the moment, you can't really watch it unless you have the app.
Right.
I already told Nathaniel, because we have a triple header coming up, and we're already through one of them, that it's almost inevitable by the end of the week that I have this service, so I can wake up Sunday morning and watch it. And keep up to the weekend.
Whoa, that will end your streak of not owning a subscription service.
I know. I'll probably do half on this one. We'll have to see how it actually breaks up in the app, because if only one person can watch it at a time, I'm not going to make Nathaniel pay for it. But he can obviously have my login, but I get priority for the races.
Allegedly. Formula One app owners.
So we'll see. I'm undoubtedly going to get it. But anyways, during the moment, since I don't have the app now, or full TV Pro access at this point, I basically watch a guy on YouTube kind of commentate our way through it, and you get to kind of see where the
is he the
person
French guy
on the track. Yeah,
I watched him last week too.
And then throughout the rest of the week, you get to watch highlights, and you get to see every little bit, some parts of the race that were kind of just explained verbally. But yeah, it was a phenomenal race. Red Bull Racing won, which is fucking awesome because they won the last race.
Tyler's team.
And then Checo won 2 weeks ago, and Max Verstappen took first this week, which is like my boy. That's my racer. So I was very hyped going to work Sunday morning, and just kind of I actually woke Leah up because I was so excited. Yeah. Leah's kind of out on Westworld, so we've taken a pretty big break from that. So
did you finish season 2?
No, not yet. I'll probably still go into it a little bit and kind of see what I think about it. But she's all the way out, which I kind of figured was going to happen kind of towards the end of season 1.
Because she liked season 1, right?
Yeah, she thought season 1 was pretty decent. So
season 2 falls off.
Yeah, so we started a new show just last night. Actually, we'll see again how far this goes. But I have a feeling, because of the crime background that this has, it's probably gonna hopefully hold on to it a little bit more, and also because this is a lot more possible.
What show?
Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay.
So which I've gone through like 3 times. So I'm excited about that. And then has she seen it? She has not.
Okay,
no,
that'll be fun then.
So I restarted Demon Slayer. Just to kind of go through it this morning, I think, or maybe it was yesterday.
It was yesterday because you were telling me about it.
So that's always fun. That's always just really nice to have on the background, especially once you've seen it once already. And then I really want to see Mugen Train so I can watch technically season 3 that comes out. So, and then we watched Luca.
Oh, how is that?
Luca's very cute as well.
What's Luca?
Luca is a new Pixar film.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're like Sea Monster Boys.
Italy?
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that was really cute as well.
Yeah, that was another one.
Did you watch that on, Ty?
It's on Disney. It's free.
Okay.
It's not one of the premium ones, which I found astounding because
some controversy there.
I think I think if you're gonna do it, you should just fucking do it with all of them, or not fucking do it with any of them at all.
Right. Yeah, the creators of that were not too happy about.
Yeah,
it
I mean
just being
that's
kind of put out there.
huge revenue that they're missing out on.
Yeah. They must have crunched the numbers and figured it out.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably paid them off and just like, oh shit, we're sorry. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it was really cute. I actually think it's a pretty tough call if I would rather watch that or Raya. They were both really good.
What about Soul?
Yeah, how does it compare to Soul?
Soul's on another level, you know. Soul hits a lot of emotional points.
Now, is Luca? It's a full feature length film, or is it okay?
It's supposed to be a much kind of smaller story than obviously Soul is like this maximalist, insane view of the universe.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I liked it. Leah liked it. It was cute. It was colorful. It was playful. It was funny.
What more can you ask from a Pixar movie?
Exactly.
I
So
want to give it a watch.
Yeah, you should.
I think I will too.
It looked great on an OLED.
Whoa. Good thing we have nothing but OLEDs in this house.
Shout out Waz.
I don't think I'm missing anything else. If I am, I'm sure Leah will remind me after she listens. And yeah, maybe I can go into next week, or maybe something that you guys say will remind me if I watch anything. But yeah, that's all I got.
For sure. Why don't you popcorn someone?
Popcorn, big burnout, Blake.
Show.
That was in
pretty
Burnout.
light week for me, movie wise. I told you guys I started The Wire again.
Yeah.
About a week and a half ago, so I'm burning through that, and I'm in season 2 now.
Okay.
And I just realized why I like that show so much.
How many episodes
I
this
was
season?
watching it.
I'm sorry.
what was that, bro?
I didn't mean to break up your flow. How many episodes a season? We asked that a couple episodes ago.
I think it's about 12.
Okay. Sorry.
11,
Continue.
12.
You remember why you like it?
So I'm in season 2 now, but it's good. Eventually, they start to get into how like local policies and political figures, right, can go into corruption and things of that nature. So I mean, it's good. I see where it's going. I kind of remember because I've seen it a few times with my dad growing up, and the last time I think I've really watched it attentively is probably like high school. You know, and obviously I'm taking it in at a different note at this age opposed to like 16. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure. Yeah.
It's good, man. But it's got everybody in it. You were talking about Idris Elba. He's in it. There's a young Michael B. Jordan, Wood Harris, who we watched in Paid in Full, and then he's also in Remember the Titans. He's in that. It's got a lot of people in there.
Michael K. Williams, I think, is his name too. The guy. He's in a ton of stuff. I can't even remember. Right now,
He's
awesome.
Oh man, I can't.
He's very recognizable.
I can't think of what else he's in. Yep.
Yeah.
I see his face too.
My understanding.
That's what I've been rocking through, man.
My understanding of The Wire is that like the cast just gets enormous by the end of it too. Like you kind of follow different people through different seasons as well.
Yeah, and like I said, I think in the later season it gets to more of like the political figures.
Okay.
Where those are people you don't really see. The first 2 seasons are more of just kind of seeing how things are ran in the project in terms of like drug dealing and things of that nature, and then just the police trying to capture those individuals.
Sure, so it's more street level.
Right, yeah, very, very small street level, and then it starts to go above that and be like, okay, well, like, why are these policies in place, right? That's why they even have projects and things of that nature. So yeah, it's really good, and I'm hooked again. So yeah, I think I'm gonna see if I can finish this thing out all 5 seasons, which would be the first TV show I finished that's not like a small 1 or 2 season joint in. Man, I think the last one I would have finished is probably Daredevil. When I finished Daredevil season 3, which is what, like 2018 or something like that.
I don't even remember, man.
Yeah.
But you watch more movies than TV series anyways, I would say.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So, did not get to Dave though. That's what I wanted to get to, but I did not. But there's a new episode today. We're recording on Wednesday. I know Nathaniel said. So today, or excuse me, we recorded on a Tuesday. You'll hear this on a Wednesday. So Dave's season 2, episode 2 comes out when you're hearing this on Wednesday. So I'm going to see if I can go ahead and watch both of those on Thursday on Hulu, and I'll keep you guys updated on that.
I think I might. I can't decide if I'm going to wait until Dave is done and just binge the first and second season altogether, or if I should binge the first season then catch up on the second season as it's releasing. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a quick watch.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be okay if I have to wait. Like, so, how you guys are watching all the things on Disney Plus and they're 30, 35-minute shows, and you know what I mean? They're a little bit easy to digest. Like, I don't mind doing that.
Yeah.
It's not like it's something where I have to sit attentively and try to memory
Absolutely.
For sure.
episode and things of that nature.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, Dave is such a bingeable show where I feel like I'd enjoy it more if I just waited for the second season to all come out at once.
Yeah.
And I could just watch.
I hear you, man.
First and second.
We'll see. I've heard good things though so far about season 2.
I haven't heard much, but that's good to hear. I'd expect it to be good. He's really funny. So Lil Dicky is who I'm talking about. If you don't know Dave, it's the story of Lil Dicky.
That's all on my plate, so I'll keep you guys updated with that next week, and we'll push it over to Nathaniel.
Yeah, I'll go. What did I get to? I watched In the Heights.
Okay.
On HBO Max. That's the new Lin-Manuel Miranda written, I guess.
Now, Nathaniel, what are your opinions? Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say this.
Oh, boy. I was going to say I was really frightened there for a second.
Yeah. Do you know what I was going to go to?
Like sort of the controversy that's been around it.
Yeah, I just figured we might as well.
Sure.
Let everyone else talk about that.
Yeah, so film Twitter has pretty much been divided into the camp that believes that there's a little bit of a lack of representation from darker-skinned Afro-Latino people and people that have really enjoyed this movie because of its just commitment to old-school musical style. And it definitely does that, and there's a foot to be firmly in both camps for sure. Oh, yeah. I saw it as just a pretty decent time. You know, I think it really loses steam towards the end. I think the last 20 minutes or so were a bit of a slog for me. But, you know, if you liked Hamilton, I think you'll probably like this quite a bit. I think if you even liked the, I guess I should say from the writing standpoint of like the lyricism and everything, if you liked Hamilton, you would like this. If you liked...
which is one of my favorite parts of Hamilton.
Yeah, and if you liked some of the blind spotting style stuff, you would enjoy this as well. The performances are all pretty good. The directing, I think, is really good as well. There's definitely, like I said, some pretty meritable, I guess, criticism coming at it from some other points on Twitter that, or critics, I should say, that are much more qualified to talk about it than I am. So I'll leave it at that. But I'd say it's worth a watch overall. If you enjoy a musical or everything like that.
2 hours and 23 minutes.
Yeah.
How'd that feel? Long?
I like I said, the first maybe half or so I think works well. You can definitely tell that it's a Broadway production that has been moved to a movie or has been adapted to a film because it has kind of the natural ebb and flow of a Broadway production. You do follow the characters for a pretty extended period of time. But overall, yeah, I'd say it's B minus somewhere in there. Who knows what our rating system is nowadays?
I'll give it like a D out of 10.
4 Lin-Manuel Miranda lip bites out of 7. But yeah, I also got to Mayor of Easttown.
I've heard incredible things about this.
I'm decidedly mixed.
Okay.
So the performances are all great. Mayor of Easttown, if you haven't heard of it yet, it's on HBO Max. Stars Kate Winslet as a detective in a small Philadelphia, I don't even want to say suburb. It seems to be pretty...
Just in Philadelphia.
Yeah, in Philadelphia, called Easttown. I believe it's fictional. But anyways, there's a murder that happens there, and obviously no one is quite as they seem in a small town.
Naturally.
Yeah, of course.
I think there's a country song.
Yeah, maybe one or two. But yeah, the performances are all excellent. I would say the directing is pretty assured. He makes a lot of choices that on the I'll say it this way: the plot and everything is serviceable and affecting. You'll get sucked in. You will enjoy it, but there's some other choices that I think they make that I don't necessarily agree with as much in terms of kind of how they present the murder and kind of who the murder affects and everything that goes along with that. But yeah, overall, pretty positive on it. I would say it's worth a watch if you like murder mysteries for sure. What else did we do?
Really quick, how close is that compared to something like True Detective?
Well, first season of True Detective for me, as I've always stated, is like one of the best single seasons of television.
It is.
Ever.
I was thinking about that recently, and I watched it after we started this pod because I remember talking about it. And I still kind of want to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah,
but there's so many shows that I need to go watch and movies I need to go watch. I got to stop going back. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it's life, isn't it? But yeah, so I would say if True Detective is a 10 out of 10 for me, season 1, this is, for me, a 6.
Okay, how many Lin-Manuel lip bites?
I think if we were going off 4 out of 7, maybe a 2.5, 3 out of 7.
Okay.
But yeah, Kate Winslet's incredible in it. She does some just next level acting. I think everyone in it is really good, but worth a watch if you're into it. You should know based off what we've said. Other than that, I've been all Fast and Furious all week long. I skipped number 1 because I believe I talked about it on pod. I just watched that 2 or 3 weeks ago. I've seen it a number of times at this point. I know it backwards and forwards. Went straight into Too Fast, Too Furious. There's been kind of a general groundswell of support, it feels like, for Too Fast, Too Furious recently. I know just maybe in our own lives. For whatever reason, this time watching it around, I had an absolute blast with it. It was such a fun time.
I liked it when I watched it.
Yeah, it's so stylized and so over the top, and like the we'll talk about this in a little bit, but just Paul Walker and
Tyrese Gibson.
Well, Tyrese Gibson, but also Vin Diesel are just so much the heart of this franchise. And yeah, it's still good. Then I did Tokyo Drift. Obviously, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Went into Fast 4 after that, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm all ready for Fast 9 this weekend. I won't go too much into 5, 6, 7, and 8 because Adam has not seen them yet. But rest assured, I had a good time.
Is this going to be theaters only?
I believe so.
Okay. I mean, I can't really imagine watching it any other way.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're doing yourself a pretty big injustice not watching one of these in theaters.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a shame that, Adam obviously couldn't experience everything up till this in theaters, but it'll be really cool to hopefully go see it together. And
it is theater exclusive.
Cool.
Hey-o.
That's cool.
At least for that 45 days, I think is the short window.
But yeah, my overall opinion on the Fast and Furious franchise, 2 thumbs up. Big fans.
2 thumbs way up.
Adam?
Yeah, I'll finish it off. I didn't really watch much. I had a busy week. Watched Loki, of course, as we talked about earlier. And then the only other thing I watched, and I say this a little begrudgingly because I am so upset about it, I finished Master of None. Please don't watch this 3rd season.
Oh, wow.
It's so I almost didn't finish it.
So it was a good old-fashioned hate watch.
Dude, I almost, directed by Aziz Ansari.
Right. So coming into season or out of season 2, how are you feeling out of that rewatch?
Sure, coming out of season 2, definitely like season 1 more. Season 2 had some fun things to it, and I always, even when I watched it the first time, I felt like season 1 was better.
Okay.
And hit a little bit harder for me. And then season 2, I like to finish that. It has a decent ending, and it's more of the same of season 1, just in a different kind of story.
Okay.
And so they're pretty similar in everything.
And then you hit the break.
And then you hit season 3, completely different show. So it's directed by Aziz Ansari. He is no longer the main character of this season. It is instead not a side character, one of the main characters, but she. I'm sorry. It's a lesbian relationship, and one of his best friends from the first 2 seasons.
Okay.
It follows her, and it's a time jump. I'm not sure how much the time jump is. I get the impression that it is supposed to be kind of the same amount of time since the 2nd season ended, but they never really say. The actress is Lena Waithe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lena Waithe.
Yeah, and she's great. She's in Ready Player One, a bunch of other things. She's really funny.
She's a good writer as well.
Oh, yeah, she plays a writer in the season, in the show. What has she written? I don't know.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I already have her IMDb up. I can try to find out. But, I think Aziz Ansari just wanted this to be so artistic and
sure, okay.
so, like,
Style over substance.
Exactly. He's so stylistic and everything like that. He changed the aspect ratio. Almost looks like he shot on film kind of thing. I don't think he did, but it's like that kind of texture to it.
Okay.
Just
just
camera.
Different cinematography.
Exactly, yeah. It's a completely different show style-wise.
Gotcha.
It's not really a sitcom. I mean, there are some jokes and stuff, but it's like he holds the camera. He doesn't move the camera basically at all. He puts it on tripod and will hold it in one place for the entire shot and holds these shots for just almost minutes on end. And even when characters aren't talking, and it's just... I understand what he was trying to go for.
I'm kind of intrigued.
No, and I understand what he was trying to go for, and in some ways I'm like, okay, this is different, this is cool, but like it's just not effective for me.
Is the heart not there anymore?
It's just not. Okay. It's not even like the whole season is called Moments in Love, and there's 5 episodes to it. Each are like 40 or 45 minutes. But I could cut like half of this and to get the same story, and I feel like I understand what he was trying to do with these long takes and everything, but you can still do that and just not overkill it to the point where it just becomes mundane.
Like E2 Mama Tom Bien.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to an extent for sure. Like I totally understand what he wanted this to be. And I totally understand that he just wanted it to be different, but like it's just not great execution for me. It just
didn't even get like Evangelion vibes when we were holding up. Man, disappointing.
Yeah, it just it just felt like he was doing it for the sake of doing it at some points. Okay. Just hard to watch, to be honest. Like the story was fine. Some good dialogue and everything, and I just wasn't all that, because I really liked her character going into the season. She was never the main focus,
right?
But I never really felt that much attachment to the story and to the characters.
Okay. Do you feel like it might have just missed for you, or do you feel like it is an overall, like you're just not the target audience?
I don't know how to answer that.
Okay,
I really don't. And
maybe I'll give it a watch and see what I think of it.
Yeah, I think the first 2 seasons are worth a watch. Just this third one just is so different. And I don't know if it's maybe the fact that I wanted it to be the same as the first 2 seasons. I really don't know if this is, like you said, I've been trying to figure this out since I finished it and since I came here to talk about it. If it is something that it is maybe just not for me, or maybe I just don't understand it, or maybe I just didn't pay enough attention to it, or whatever it is. I've been trying to figure it out if this is
regardless,
just a miss for me,
or
something
didn't connect.
Something is awry. This did not catch my attention enough, did not intrigue me enough for me to really recommend this to anybody.
All right.
Which is very unfortunate, because I spent all this time rewatching the first.
You're right.
Two
Yeah, this has been a journey for you.
Yeah, to get to the third, and then to have that happen was very disappointing, and I was just really upset at the fact that it was just like this was the 3rd season.
So if it came back for season 4.
It would have to depend what it's doing.
Okay.
If it goes back to the style of the first 2 seasons, sure, I would give it a watch. If it's more of this 3rd season, I don't think I would. I don't think I would. That's kind of, I guess, where I land on that.
Did you get anything else in this week?
No, that was really it. Like I said, really busy week. I was trying to finish that out so I could talk about it, and then I can move on to Drive to Survive, which I almost started but didn't, but I will probably jump to next.
But now we can talk about Tokyo Drift.
I'm very excited. Welcome, listeners, to the main review segment here at Back Row Banter. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works here at Back Row Banter?
Well, listeners, if you are new, or if you may have just forgotten, the way the Back Row Banter main review segment works is it's split into 2 sections. There's the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. Pretty self-explanatory. And the non-spoiler section will go into the IMDb summary, kind of give you the background on the movie, give our initial thoughts on it, and then we'll all come to a decision whether we would recommend this movie or not, because there is no nuance on the internet. From then on, you'll hear a spoiler sound, and it'll also be marked in the show notes, so make sure you come back at the end of it, because we have the rest of the show to finish. But during that spoiler segment, if you have seen Tokyo Drift, we'll be going into our deeper thoughts on the movie, really getting into the nitty gritty. I say that a lot. And then, once we've kind of delved into it and hashed out everything we need to, we'll bring everyone on back to see where it ranks on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything that we've watched for the pod ranked. So with that being said, Adam, why don't you tell us about Tokyo Drift?
This, ladies and gentlemen, is The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Came out in 2006. Runtime of 1 hour and 44 minutes, and boy, oh boy, do I wish it was longer. Oh, man. Directed by Justin Lin, who's done a lot of stuff since then, right?
Yeah,
He's pretty well known by now.
This was kind of his first break, I feel like, into the American movie industry side of things. He has gone on to direct many installments of the Fast and Furious franchise. I would say that's probably definitely his home field at this point, including Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, and now coming back for Fast 9. And I believe they've confirmed he's going to finish out these iterations of the saga. I'm not sure if that's 100% true. He directed actually some of the episodes in season 2 of True Detective.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's also done.
That's right. That's where I know him from. Because I've heard that name thrown around before.
Yeah, he also directed Star Trek Beyond. Looks like several episodes of Better Luck Tomorrow. Not sure what that is.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's a good director. I like him.
Cool.
He's got a sense of verve that shows in this movie for sure.
Yeah. Written by Chris Morgan, starring Lucas Black as our lead, Zachary Ty Bryan, Shad Moss, Damien Marzette. Where is my favorite?
I was going to say this one is by order of appearance.
I see.
Zachary Ty Bryan.
No sense.
Most people know from Home Improvement, the older brother.
All right. Well, Lucas Black. Where is? Trying to go down here.
You've got Sung Kang.
Natalie
Han.
Kelly as Neela. Shad Moss as Twinkie,
a.k.a. Bow Wow.
Brian T is DK.
Bow Wow, yeah. Where's Han at? Who plays Han?
That's Sung Kang.
Oh, is that who? Okay, yeah, there you go.
The late great Sonny Chiba as the Yakuza uncle
Yes.
as well. Obviously, listeners will recognize him from Kill Bill.
Yeah, solid cast. I guess we can just. Oh, sorry, the IMDb summary. Almost skipped over that. That would have been tragic.
That would have been ruined our streak.
Yeah, the IMDb. Wow, man, I've been tripping over my words all episode. It's been really frustrating. A teenager becomes a major competitor in the world of drift racing after moving in with his father in Tokyo to avoid a jail sentence in America.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good for sure. Anything we want to fill in here? I mean, he, as the description says, he gets in a bit of trouble in America, goes to live with his father because his parents are divorced, and then even though he's told no going near a car, the first thing he does, of course, is go near cars.
Go near a car.
Yeah, so if you're following along in the Fast and Furious franchise at this point, you've obviously got the Fast and Furious 2001, Dominic Toretto, Brian O'Connor. Then you get
Brian Spillner.
Sorry, Brian Spillner. Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. Then you get Too Fast, Too Furious, Roman Pierce, Tyrese Gibson, Paul Walker. And now we get into the third one, and none of them are there at all. So how did you feel going into this, Adam? Did you know this was a spin-off that didn't feature any of the original cast?
Unfortunately, I did because Justin spoiled that for me in the break room last week. Yeah. So shout out.
Bad at video
Justin
games, that guy.
Yeah.
I heard.
Bad at connecting his microphone to his Xbox. I've also heard.
Weirdest thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, even then, it's something you kind of learn pretty quickly.
Sure.
So it's like, I wasn't that disappointed. A very interesting choice to kind of split off. I mean, this is only the third movie. It's not like we've seen all the adventures that we could have with Brian O'Connor and Paul Walker. So the fact that this is only number 3 and they just decided to jump ship a little bit and do it kind of an anthology movie, I'm all on board for it. It's really cool. This is definitely for me. This is my first watch, of course. This is my favorite of the 3 I've watched.
Wow,
for sure.
Big call.
I figured you would say that.
For sure.
I figured you
starts off.
Rips right out the gate.
Right out the gate, man.
I texted everyone in the group chat, and I was like, the first 10 minutes of Tokyo Drift are perfect.
It's incredible. It's
Wow.
truly, truly incredible. I didn't think a movie could
From the starting of the week. That's my favorite. It's great. Oh, my God. I love the beginning of this movie.
There's a lot. As I'm watching it here, because we, of course, have the movie on in the background, a lot of great shots. It's very well directed. I love the cinematography. There's just a lot of cool. I think this is definitely the best, in my opinion, the best shot one of the 3 for sure. I like the aerial views they have of the cars drifting and everything like that. A lot of cool Japanese and Tokyo scenery that they've got going on. Soundtrack is something you can't kind of skip over in this one.
This soundtrack's incredible.
It's iconic, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I
Blake.
remembered it when I was watching it, but obviously once you start watching it actively, I was just like, oh my God, I love
It's
this
just
soundtrack.
banger after banger, man.
Yeah, dude. I was watching, like I was about halfway, and I was like, Adam is probably going to think this is the best one of the 3 he's watching.
Definitely is, dude.
He'd say that.
Definitely.
It's a fun movie, man.
It is.
There's no way around it. This is a very fun movie.
This also just plays into more of my kind of take on Fast and Furious, that it is in its own universe and is kind of like an anime in some sorts. Because I'm watching this and I'm like,
right.
dude, you can't tell me this is like not its own thing, its own universe. We're just, again, we're street racing and driving, and it's just that's the thing everyone does. Like,
Right.
oh, man.
Yeah, so we've got
This is real though. And like I don't mean to like
No, go ahead.
but like Tokyo Drift hits on so many other realistic points. Like this is actually how drifting started. Like it started in the mountains, and it came over Japan like a fucking tsunami.
Really?
And
It might be a
everybody,
sensitive term to use
yeah.
to the Japanese, but
And I mean, it took over in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and by the time it got to this, it was so overdone. And like this is still really great because it still plays a lot into it, and it's funny because a lot of people don't relate like stock car racing to like the 20s when there was the prohibition going on and how they had to illegally do all that. So like it's cool that they actually wrap the Yakuza into the drift world because they also use that as a way to get illegal things around the mountain and around the island because they would hire skilled drifters to get things done very quickly. And it's actually really cool. The part we just went through, the old guy sitting on like the pier fishing, he is
the Godfather.
He's not like the creator, but he is definitely one for known to be like the best at drifting.
It's the Michael Jordan of drifting.
so he's the DK in real life, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And,
That's awesome.
And he started basically like Formula 1 drift and like all that stuff, like actual like sport drifting. And so yeah, it was cool that they put him in there too.
That's cool. I definitely didn't know any of that. And that's really cool information. Thanks for bringing that, Ty, for sure.
And I mean, you go even just into the difference in racing style. I think the idea of making this one the third one and taking it and shifting it into Japan, which we haven't really talked about the storyline. Lucas Black, Sean Boswell, racing early on, gets shipped over to Japan to live with his father, gets in with the street racers, learns how to drift, basically. But
drift.
What
do you mean drift?
DK.
You take
Donkey Kong?
one of the best lines in the entire movie.
I love it. I love it.
You take the world of Fast and Furious in the first two, which is more or less straight line drag racing, and in the second one you get a little bit more into the city circuits, but then you go and you take it to Japan, which is so much less open space, so much more of this vertical building rather than horizontal building, and you just get these tight and closed spaces, which are always good for making it look like you're translating speed. You've got this wonderful new way that you can shoot the car as it's moving throughout the image. It's just, it was such a smart idea, I think, to go this direction with it.
100%. It's just so stylistically fun, like both in the aesthetics that they choose. I mean, because it aligns with like the last two movies and the style of like cars and everything, and how they're all kind of souped up.
It's the last one. That was one of my kind of talking points I was going to talk about. This is kind of the last
core Fast and Furious.
Well, no, it's the last one in the franchise where you get these.
Or it's like racing.
Well, the main cars are still 90s, early thousands cars that have been souped up and tuned up, and then have these beautiful paintings on the sides of them and everything. Everything kind of after this, I feel like they get into much more modern style vehicles.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Or like classic American muscle that they've souped up or something.
Yeah, they don't really concentrate on the overall flashiness of the car,
right?
And I think that's also just because you stopped seeing that in. Probably.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
In the actual car scene around this time period too, when everything kind of transitions over, and you still see a lot of these cars though, but they're stylized towards like the 2020s, and like they're still wide body. They're still like loud ass exhaust on them. They're just not like overly flashy, but like
you just don't get those great graphics, you know.
Yep.
Like I can remember at the time being like, oh well, that was like the thing, and you know when this movie came out, I was like, yeah, those are mean, those are cool, and then it kind of went through this cringe era. But now I feel like looking at it now, it's almost like, man, I missed. There's just a beauty to it.
Yeah,
the art of it is awesome.
Yeah, nowadays it's more or less is more.
Right.
And back in the day in the 90s,
everything looks like an iPhone.
2000s, it's like, dude, you just. Any crazy thing that you could fucking think of to do your car, especially in Japan, you were doing it.
Right.
Sure. Blake?
Yeah, man. Like I said, when I got caught watching it again, it's the first time I've seen it in a while. I kind of remembered how much I valued it in the Fast and the Furious universe. And funny enough, when I was watching this, and like I said, we all know it revolves around drifting and things of that nature. And we were talking about Need for Speed earlier. And this actually comes out around the same time frame as Need for Speed Carbon, where they both come out in 2006. And if any of you guys have played that, that's so similar to Tokyo Drift, where like the ending race in that is like a canyon mountain race. And I just remember playing that with my cousin like all the time in like 6th grade or whatever it was, you know. And you can just see how they basically just went like hand in hand in 2006, where you can see this was just the scene. This was the car scene. Drifting, exotic paint jobs, like as Nathaniel was saying, you know what I mean, where it's much more like tuner cars. It's not really American muscle and things of that nature. But yeah, man, this movie's so fun. The soundtrack is fucking amazing, as we've already said. There's some really good one-liners in here. What's the gentleman's name? Is it Lucas Black? Right?
He's the main guy, yeah.
Sean.
Yeah.
Sean
He's good. I mean, I think he might be a pretty big country guy himself in real life, because he also plays in Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
But he's got kind of a country twang when he speaks too. So I think that's just kind of him naturally talking, to be honest with you. So that's kind of cool and appreciated as well.
I was going to get into this later in spoilers, but I think I'm going to bring it up now. I'm not a big fan of Sean Boswell.
Yeah, I remember at the time being pretty fine with it, but in watching it back this time, I feel like everyone in this movie is just like operating at a lower level of charisma, with the exception of Sung Kang, who plays Han, who is just absolutely incredible in this. Yeah. But when you go from Paul Walker and Vin Diesel into the Sean Boswell character, I just think he just doesn't have that knack that both of those guys do for it. And it's fun, but I think it's also a reason that, you know, you look at the franchise as a whole and there's certain characters that they've picked out of this to continue with, and not others as much. But I think that they're serviceable. I think the actors, most of the cast is a little bit weaker in my opinion in this movie as like an ensemble piece. But overall, I'm still pretty positive on it.
Yeah, I agree. He's okay. Bow Wow's fine.
Bow Wow kills it.
Yeah, it's nothing out of the ordinary, or nothing extremely significant, I should say, from either of them. But the movie's just put together well. It looks good, like you guys said. Artistically, it flows, and it's a fun Fast and the Furious movie. It's before they got like too actiony, right? Like, you know what I mean? Where
once it became
really
Mission Impossible
anymore, you know? Yeah, where I think this is spot on, man, in those first few movies.
Really quick side note: we're watching the scene where actually, never mind. I can't say this. This is non spoilers here. But I think this is gonna be a recommend all around.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's
hear what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
I'll pick it up when we get into spoilers. It's I was gonna reference the scene we're watching, but it's later on in the movie, so I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to misrepresent this. If you're not bought in on Fast and Furious, you're not gonna be bought. This isn't the one that's gonna change your mind.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the women still aren't treated great. You know, the overall, it can be a little macho at times for sure. It's a movie about dudes racing cars. What are you gonna expect? But overall, definitely recommend for me.
Yeah. Cool. I think we're going to go ahead and head into spoiler talk now. So if you've not seen the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, go ahead and check the episode description where I have put a timestamp you can jump to skip to our ranking. Hop upon the Entropy list.
Hop upon.
Spoilers. Vroom, vroom, shit goes down.
Shit goes sideways.
Really quick before I forget, the thing I want to reference is we were just watching that scene where Takashi pulls the gun on on Han.
Sure.
And Weathering with You definitely made me appreciate how big of a deal pulling a gun on someone is in Japan, since it's guns are outlawed there. Or actually, I don't know if they're outlawed or if you just have to.
Pretty sure they're illegal. Okay. I have no idea.
I don't know. But,
it's very hard to obtain them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But still, I just want a quick little sign out there. But yeah, Nathaniel, do you want to fill in the rest of the plot here?
Yeah, so obviously kind of the big spoiler moment. Once Sean has kind of fallen in with, God, we didn't really even talk about that. Sean immediately lands in Japan. He gets into a race. He wrecks the car. The car belongs to Han, who is kind of a local gangster guy. He's basically...
He's a collector of things.
He's South Korean Dom Toretto. He kind of joins his crew, does a few jobs for him. Eventually, it's revealed that Han has been stealing from DK, who is the Drift King around there, and also the nephew of the local crime Yakuza boss. After that, they get into a pretty big street race. Han subsequently passes away in a car crash. And we are then left with Sean, who goes up against a one drift race for everything battle with DK, the Drift King, on a mountain road, and succeeds.
Wabaki.
Becomes the new DK. But yeah, the big spoiler is obviously Han passes in this movie.
Does he?
Does he? Who knows?
We'll find out next week.
This car definitely blows up.
He does light on fire. I'll be very interested to see how they get around that.
That car was so cool when I first watched this movie.
It is so cool.
I love it, except it's too wide bodied.
Yeah,
it
so there's a lot of
nuts.
controversy around it, and like the actual like car scene, but it is it's
my favorite car that they do, the RX-7.
Yeah, it's an iconic Japanese domestic vehicle. It is extremely hard to obtain in a really good condition nowadays. But yeah, this is a veil slide kit on it, and it does take it to a whole new level of wide body. It absolutely changes the complete body lines of the car, whereas some cars you can put a wide body on and still retain the majority of the body lines that people are after. And the RX-7 is just one of those cars that just was so ahead of its time.
Chef's kiss.
On its body style that it still holds today as a stock body that looks incredibly well against sports cars today. And you can see that there's a lot of cars today that are made with influences of that car. But yeah, the Veil Slide, not my favorite kit. But they also tributed it to a little because there was a earlier version of a Veil Slide kit in the very first one.
Yeah, which is one of my favorites.
Dom's red car. And it's funny because it's the red car from the first one and this orange car are the same exact car. They obviously just have much different kits on them. So.
But yeah.
And here he goes. He's going to blow up now.
Car talk with Ty.
Yeah, you said a lot of words.
I can talk a lot about cars.
I'm following him, though.
I know. I got the gist. I got the gist for sure.
I could talk a lot about cars.
So one thing I have in my notes here is early on in this movie, at the start of it, actually, we could have done this in non-spoilers, but as he's driving his piece of shit car away, the older brother from Home Improvement chucks a baseball at it and punches a fist-sized hole through the backside of the rear windshield, which...
How fast is he throwing?
He's throwing like 130.
Yeah, he's throwing harder than that.
Dude, like you said, Nathaniel, that opening scene is just so good. I love he gets out the car, right, and they're just like staring at each other, super manly and masculine, right? And then the guy's girlfriend is just like, well, how about you guys just race for me?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. If your girlfriend said that, you'd be like, oh my God. Well, like,
you'd be like,
I don't want to date you.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Fuck out of here.
It's fucking funny, dude. It's priceless.
I laughed so hard. And then 5 minutes later, his mom blows a cop so he doesn't get arrested.
This movie has a weird hard edge to it that is like
it's just and it's right out the gate too, dude.
Well, it's like
first 10 minutes of the movie.
That one's implied, but his dad is definitely banging a hooker when he shows
100%.
up later too. And like that kind of like harder edge is definitely apparent in the first two Fast and Furious movies, but I think it plays a little bit more because they're not in high school and they're like he's definitely infiltrating a gang and then they're drug lords and everything. This one is just like it's kind of like this.
He's
coming
17,
of age,
man. He's 17.
Coming
he's
of
supposed
age.
to be 17. Looks like he's 30, but yeah.
It's just very like not anachronistic, but it just feels very tonally different in this one, which is I think is very funny as well.
Oh, for sure.
Different culture over there, man.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like they say in the actual. I think it's kind of like towards the middle of this, but he's like, "Can't you just find yourself a nice little Asian girl? Like why do you
everybody else?
Yeah, like every other white guy here.
Yeah.
he does.
Or a Japanese girl, like every other white guy that comes here. He's like, why do you have to go after somebody that's already taken, especially by a gang member? So yeah, it's a way different culture over there,
It's
especially
also a
when
very
you start
valid
throwing
question.
in.
This man hunts down that girl for like. She's taken, man.
She's in high school and
Respect it.
he's definitely like 27 in this too.
Yeah, he's out of high school.
There was another thing that I had to say too. Someone else say something.
Dude, Han
Is the best.
the best character I've ever seen on screen ever. I want that man to be my best friend and my best man at my wedding. Like, I would die for Han.
Han's the best, man.
Han is the best.
He's really great, man. He does a really good job, and obviously this is due to the writing and the acting kind of combination of it. But he does such a great job of pulling you in and really making you feel.
He's just so cool.
You're so invested in him, and the whole portion of where he's like, well, what do you do this for? And then he drifts around the other girls, and then he gives out their phone number.
Weird little mating ritual.
And, he's been out there for so long, and then the other portion of it where he's like, this is my Mexico. Like, I gotten so deep into where I was that I had to come here out of force, and now I'm just kind of here, and I'm just kind of trying to make money and survive. And then you also get the other portion of it where he's talking more about the stuff that Dom talks about. Like, I don't need money or cars around me. It's people and character that I care about. And he pulls you in just as good as Dominic Toretto does in the first one, and just as good as Brian does in the first one. And I think it's meant to do it in a really calculated way, and he does a phenomenal job, man.
Yeah.
Phenomenal job.
Adam, I see you opening up the book.
I was trying to see. I have a few notes, but I don't have a lot written down. Nothing I really haven't said already. I basically already got to all my points.
There's a moment in this where Bow Wow is getting onto the elevator to go up when Brian is doing his first race, and he turns and winks at the camera.
Yeah, I saw that too. It's like, is this Deadpool?
Yes. Which means in the Fast and Furious universe that at least Bow Wow understands he's in a movie.
Yeah, Bow Wow gets it.
I just love the nostalgia with early 2000s movies. So there's a scene where they're racing, drifting in the parking garage in the beginning, but the camera kind of pans and you see everybody with camera phones.
Yeah, that's another thing I definitely noticed.
So cool
just because I was young enough to know that like cameras having phones was like a big deal in like 2006, and so it was funny just going back and seeing this, and like they made that like a big thing in this movie. Where like people are just now recording things of that nature. It's just crazy. Flash forward 15 years and it's like just funny to see people recording video on a on like a 2 megapixel camera on their flip phone.
Again, man, it's that culture over there. They're so
well. It's even I mean, it's even in the first sequence of the movie, they have people recording on their phones.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the technology that's over there and how fast that
garage that little Bow Wow gets his car.
One.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's again.
Those are real things over there, and they have to have so much more things compacted in such a smaller area
space.
that it's just growing so much. But yeah, it's super cool to be able to see that side, and it's really cool for people to see that side of things that don't understand that or haven't seen that side, or like maybe only see it in an anime and then they're like, wait, that shit's fucking real. It's like, yeah, dude, that's real.
Yeah, very anime-ish, as you could imagine. And just the scene when they're originally in that parking garage and I'm sorry, Bow Wow and what's the guy's name?
Sean in the series, but Lucas Black in real life.
Right. So when Sean and Bow Wow open up the elevator and then like that song plays, I don't even know the name of the song. That scene that shot is so good. And you can just kind of see the entire parking garage. You see everybody's cars.
Right.
And then he finally goes up to the Drift King's girlfriend. Was it Neela? Is that her name?
Yeah.
And then she's kind of talking to somebody about her transmission and things of that nature, right? And then he's like, oh, well, you wouldn't have that problem if you had a V8. And she's like, oh, typical guy. Like, all you care about is the size of the engine.
Yeah.
And just lines like that. They're so clever and put together, man. But yeah, this movie's awesome. I haven't seen it in a long time. This is probably the first time I've seen this movie in easily 6+ years.
Yeah, it had been a little while before Tyler and I did our rewatch, maybe like a month or two ago.
Something like that.
This movie also features one of my favorite mid-thousands tropes, which is anytime you have a club scene, you have to have a small corner. And it actually features like 3 or 4 times in the Fast and Furious universe. You always have to have your main character pass down an alleyway, and there always needs to be 2 girls in there drunk and making out in the corner. Like, you see it so many times.
But yeah, I can believe that.
It happens in this one. I know it happens in the second one as well. And I'm pretty sure it happens like in one of the fourth or fifth as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an odd movie, but I remember it having like a special place in my heart when it first came out too. But
me too.
It feels weird, and I'm happy with how they've treated it in the Fast and Furious universe in the long run.
It's just so much fun, and like I said, that directing, like there were just a lot of shots where I was like, wow, where they take those wide, high up shots. And the cars,
the stuff, the rooftop scene between Sean and Han is awesome, and then you get the great drift through the Shibuya. I'm pretty sure it's Shibuya. The square. Really that's just it's a gorgeous shot.
Outside, for sure.
But then even when they're drifting the mountain at night, and they have all those cars in line too as well.
Tyler, I wanted to ask you this: do you think that Nissan motor would work in that Mustang body enough to take on that?
I also had that kind of question. I was like, is that how cars work?
Yeah. So you can absolutely 100% engine swap different engines in different cars. I mean, there's people that take an LS engine, which is something that goes into like a huge like Dodge Charger or like Corvette or something like that, and they shove it into a Miata. So you could understand the difference in power and weight ratio that you have there. There's a newer style body 8.6, so the new like FRS or BRZ that has been around for a little bit. There's a builder that actually put a Ferrari V12 into one of those.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I mean, there's people that put a Hayabusa engine into a smart car. An Hayabusa engine is like the most renowned motorcycle engine to ever live, and it's like the fastest thing on the face of the planet. So, and then somebody shoved it into a smart car chassis. So yeah, man, the world of cars and what you can do with it is really just only up to your imagination and whether or not you could make it fit. And so yes, this is it's an RB26, which is basically like I think it's an RB26. It's either an RB26 or
we'll see here in a second. For those following along at home.
Yeah, so that's an RB26. So they basically shove that into a Mustang body, which is very doable. And actually, TJ Hunt recently acquired a 65 body Mustang, and he is going to put an RB26 in it.
I'm going to watch that.
Because this is the only other Mustang that has had an RB26 put into it.
That's awesome.
Most people put like newer Coyote box or crate engines into like older Mustangs to just kind of modernize them and modernize the suspension and everything, but still keep that older body style. So TJ Hunt, who is a YouTuber who's been doing his thing with cars for quite some time, is going to be the only other person on the face of the planet that is going to put a Nissan motor into a Mustang. And this is actually a working car. So yes, this is very possible, and it is very fucking cool.
Cool.
That's incredible.
And it would absolutely beat that 350Z.
You think so?
100%.
Okay, cool. That was my question.
Permitting that 350Z doesn't have another engine in it, it's a VQ motor, which can only do so much power. An RB26 has way more horsepower capabilities, and with the body style and rear-wheel drive that you get from a Mustang, it's definitely going to beat it.
Very cool. The only other thing I remember from this movie is if you go over 130K in Japan, the police can't catch you.
180K.
180K, sorry.
180K. I don't know if that's an actual law, to be 100% honest with you.
Sounds like it would be, though.
Apparently, if you're speeding, you're going to get caught. But, but the idea that you could outrun the cops in one of those is not too outlandish.
Far off, yeah, for sure. Man, what a fun movie. I can't wait to watch the rest.
What's your favorite car?
Man, I do really like Hans, but also Drift Kings is pretty cool. Takashi's is that black one.
Yeah. I had a 350 at one point.
What happened to
you
it?
really?
Fucking hated it.
I like those cars.
Hated it, dude.
Really?
How it drove, or what about it?
It's just it's a driver's car. It's literally attached to the road. So unless you're ready to dump some money into suspension, you're feeling everything. And if it's your only car during the winter, have fun.
You're fucked.
So, and it chews up gas. It's a V6 and a really small body. It's only a 2-seater too, so it's not very
Practical.
Yeah, so it's not a grocery getter, that's for sure. But yeah, man, it's a fun car to have, and you can tool around with it. But
Right.
How about you though? Your favorite car in this one?
in this one would either have to be Sean's red Evo, because there's a lot of nostalgia there for me, especially with the Evo. That's just a.
Is that the one that Han gives him to train with?
Yes.
No, well, yeah, the red one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that ends up basically being his car.
Oh, okay,
until
yeah,
he wrecks it.
Yeah.
Or Mona Lisa in the beginning. That is a Nissan Silvia. It's like an S13 body, S14. I'm not sure which one. But that thing is absolutely flawless in so many different ways. And again, those weren't stock with an RB26 motor, so be able to put one of those. That motor was basically reserved for a GTR, which is hands down the most sought after car on the face of the planet if you're in the tuner world, or in the car world. Anything that has to do with a GTR, it's probably your dream car. Whether it's a 31, 32, 33s are kind of coming back into style, and 34s are easily the best things that you could possibly get your hands on. So yeah, I like all these cars. The Mustang, it's cool. It's American. It's whatever. It's not something that I would have done. But
is that even like a good drifting car to have? Like,
yeah, I mean anything that's got a good short wheelbase platform with rear wheel drive is going to be good.
Rear wheel drive, yeah,
exactly.
That's
so anything that's got that same kind of style behind it. I really, 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 really wish that there was an 8.6 in this.
Off screen,
and there's just not, because the 8.6 is the greatest car ever. Even though it was just super domesticated. But yeah.
Well, should we get on out of spoilers and see what ranks?
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, Blake can go too.
Yeah, I like Mona. I mean, obviously the RX-7 is going to have a special place in my heart because it is my favorite of this kind of era so far. But
so many car terms being thrown around. I'm lost,
but yeah,
I'm happy you guys are having fun.
I don't like I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not wild about the body kit on it. But I really like Mona. Mona's gorgeous. So
Blake, what was your opinion on the body kit, man? Are you pro body kit?
I like
anti-body
it.
kit.
Like it. Yeah,
I remember looks awesome. But like if you know the RX-7 body style, like Tyler was saying earlier,
it looks nothing like that.
Yeah, it just looks like a different car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Blake, your favorite car?
I'm rocking with Han's car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That orange one? Yeah.
Yep.
That's definitely a cool one.
Yeah.
That
I do
rotary.
like the Viper in the beginning, though. I can't think of the guy's name, like the teenage boyfriend.
Brad.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the hell.
Yeah, he's got to be a Brad, right?
Yeah, I can look up the IMDb.
And he's like, what am I going to do with that car? I was like, this is a
His official name?
car with
This car goes for 80K.
Clay.
What would I do with a broken ass piece of shit like that?
Yeah.
Oh, you can read the manual.
My mom's Buick would smoke that shit. Was it, well, what about your daddy's Viper?
That's
Pitch
funny.
perfect.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna be it for our. Wow, this is we're adjusting to these mic stands here, man.
Yeah.
I keep bumping into it, but yeah, that's gonna be it for spoilers here. So welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're gonna go ahead and rank Tokyo Drift up upon the Entropy list.
Up upon.
For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially our rating system. Rather than giving it out of 10 or out of 5 stars, something like that, we're going to throw all of the movies review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to view the list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd. Number 58 here on the Entropy list. First Fast and the Furious film. It will not be the last, as we are reviewing F9 next week. Bit of sizzle there.
Man.
Ty as the...
I am not going first.
He's not going first. Who...
I want to see where you guys land.
Okay.
Oof. This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look here.
Blake, you got any ideas?
I was going to say, let's let Adam rip it first, man.
Okay.
First viewing.
First viewing, for sure. This is a lot. I don't know. This is so hard to gauge as I'm scrolling through this list.
It's almost like we did this on purpose.
Yeah. Man.
The question, folks, is he going to be top half, bottom half?
That's really the question. I did like this movie a lot. All right.
Suspense.
I'm going to throw it up at... I'm going to throw it up at 20.
20.
Right below Boys in the Hood and right above Deadpool.
Okay.
This movie's a lot of fun. You know, it's not our typical kind of like movie that we
right.
like to get to. It's not anything special in that way, but it is a lot of fun. It's very well directed, I think, and just, you know, I just had such a good time with it. All the characters are great. Like I said earlier, of the three, this is definitely my favorite so far, and we'll see how long that lasts, if it lasts through the rest of the Fast and the Furious movies. But for now, I think I am going to just drop this in at number 20.
All right.
Alrighty.
Fair enough.
Blake, why don't you go next here?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, were you going above or below Deadpool?
Above.
Above Deadpool. Okay.
20 below Boys in the Hood.
He's going
Deadpool.
between Boys in the Hood and Deadpool. I think I'm rocking with I do like this movie a lot, though. Oh, man, this one's hard. I like it a lot. So if I'll just kind of talk about my thought process out loud, because I'm not really sure where I'm going right now.
I'll say for
In
really
terms of
quick
our
for
popcorn
me,
flicks.
I just had a hard
Tyler.
time putting it above The Conjuring and Kill Bill. I think both of those movies are
Oh,
just
for
really,
sure.
really good. That's where it kind of capped off for me. But then as I was like going right below that, I was like, you know, these movies are right below it are really good. But I just had such a good time with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, popcorn flicks, I'm putting it above both Godzillas, right? I'm putting it above Mortal Kombat. I'm putting it above Army of the Dead. That kind of covers our popcorn flicks, right? And then from here, I'm looking at Die Hard and stuff. I put it above that. Put it above The Conjuring 2. I think I'm looking at 27.
Okay.
So above A
okay.
Quiet Place, below Soul. So I think I like Soul a little bit more. I like Frozen 2 a little bit more. And I like District 9 more, for sure. So
Nice.
that's where I'm sitting.
I'm not mad about that at all. Those are all very solid movies for sure. Nathaniel?
Oh, man. Yeah, so Blake was not far off with me. Originally, I was looking, I think, right above Soul, and then I kind of thought about it a little bit more, and I think I'm going to actually go at 22, right above Dr. Sleep, right below Kill Bill Volume 2.
That's where I was thinking about putting it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good arguments in there. I'm feeling that's kind of where it is. On a personal level, for me, nostalgia is definitely part of this.
Sure.
And I think, I think it pushes it to 22, knowing kind of my own feelings on like the rest of the franchise as well. I'm pretty cool with it there. So yeah, 22, right below Kill Bill Volume 2, right above Dr. Sleep.
Ty, finish this off here, man.
Now
Now that you've heard all of our pieces.
one. No.
No, I'm not even joking. I really think it's number one on the Entropy list.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of hovering right there with you guys. As soon as Adam said 20, I knew you guys probably weren't going to go below 31, so I'm glad that it stayed on the top half of that.
Sure.
So yeah, I would probably say, man, I'm going to go 21 just because Deadpool, I've obviously had superheroes in my life a little bit longer. Cars is still something, obviously, that I hold near and dear to my heart. And then Tokyo Drift came around right around the time when I was already kind of getting into drifting, and I already had been way into cars already. So Tokyo Drift is a good movie, man. And anytime you get those movies that, you know, are kind of like a popcorn flick, like we've been saying, but you also get to see a different part of the world and the other side of a certain culture that you're already used to. Like I was into cars, but obviously when you get into, you know, a car culture in another part of the world and see how they do it, and they can just, you know, shed some light on there, and it kind of opens your eyes even more. It's just, it's so fucking awesome, man. And I'm just all the way in on anything that's JDM. That's Japanese domestic market, for anybody that doesn't know. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been saying that a lot.
I know. if you guys need any references on any acronyms or car models, let Adam know. Let us know in some kind of comments.
You got a Twitter. Tweet
and
Ty.
Maybe I'll create some kind of legend for you.
A quick guide.
Yeah, so you can kind of get a better reference on what we're actually talking about. So yeah, I'll go 21. 20 is a hard push for me as well, but just to kind of help even things out here, I'll say 21.
Cool. All right, so I think that either puts it at 22 or 23 if we kind of balance everything out here. Do you guys have a preference on which one we beat out here? Do you think it's below or above Dr. Sleep?
I think it's above Dr. Sleep.
Above Dr. Sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I can live with that.
You're living with above Dr. Sleep? All right, well, then we'll drop it there at 22, below Dr. Sleep. Or, sorry, above Dr. Sleep, below what's below
Kill
that?
Bill Volume 2.
Volume 2.
All right, awesome. Another installment up upon the entropy list. Next week, our next installment will be F9, Fast 9. Is there a colon title for that one?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so. I think they just completely dropped all the Fast and Furious and just started saying F.
F-U, F9.
F this.
F this. Yeah, I'm going to have to find some time to binge the rest of these movies before we go and watch it, but I will do my best to do so. So join us next week for F9. I believe that's only in theaters, as I looked up before podcast, the pre-pod. So, go see that and join us for our review next week. Nathaniel, any 5-star reviews?
No 5 stars review this week, but if you do want to drop us a 5-star review, you can do it in Apple Podcast apps. It does help us out quite a bit. And if you give a 5-star review, I will read that 5-star review out on the podcast. You can be nice, you can be mean, you can be funny, don't be evil. And, that's what you can get. You can hear any one of us, really. It doesn't have to be me.
True.
Could be anyone. Just do it. Share the pod, too. What happens if they share the pod, Adam? Or who should they share it with?
They should share it with a friend, a family member, a drifting acquaintance, maybe
rival,
a member of the Yakuza.
Yakuza.
Sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you.
They're coming after us now. We want them to know it was Adam.
Share it with your build partner. You know, if you're out there building a car, let it. Just if you're putting an exhaust on or something like that, throw the pot on.
Yeah,
throw the pot on.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to take a little bit. You need some entertainment. Go ahead, please share the podcast. But then also follow us on Twitter at Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and on YouTube at Back Row Banter. Even if it's not your primary place of listening, please go subscribe to us there anyway. And then our email for any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, anything of the sort that you'd like us to know or hear. Our email is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. But BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. I'll be on there every once in a while, very on and off, putting some things in there. Instagram, PSN, Xbox. Excuse me, just hit my mic. That's going to be Mr. Water Coolers. So we'll be on there, and actually just started playing Siege again recently.
Hey.
Haven't played that in a while. That's fucking rough, as we all know how first-person shooters go. When you stop playing for a long time, you play again. Very, very frustrating. But that's about it for me. We'll push it on to Nathaniel.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at @NSGingrick. You can find me on Instagram at NathanielG92. Check out my other podcast, Sandpiper Tapes, and be on the lookout for the stream. We're inching closer to that. We started our first Halo stream, even though I wasn't on it. You
were on it. You just weren't.
Yeah, I wasn't. My face
live.
wasn't there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So keep an eye on that space coming soon. Adam, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at H24, on Letterboxd at H, and on Twitch, as I did actually go live for the first time in quite a while. But it's twitch.tv/H. Still got to figure some stuff out for the stream. I didn't really tweet anything or post it anywhere because I was like, this is about to be a little rough. First time streaming in a while. Probably a lot of technical difficulties, which there was. So, but we're going to get that all figured out and continue on with these Halo streams hopefully soon. And, tune in there. I think it's Popcorn Ty finishes out here, man.
Hey, guys, it's me. I do Twitch sometimes, like everybody else said. We have started our Halo stream.
Woo!
So we kept our promise. We wanted to do some at least this week, get some on the boards. So we ran through about an hour and a half or so. It was a lot of fun. So it's really great to again kind of see Nathaniel's reaction to all that kind of stuff. So
his first playthrough of Halo.
Yep,
it's true.
So and it was really cool to see the difference in graphics on like what we had to go through and like what you can currently get access to now. So that was pretty cool. So but yeah, that's twitch.tv/El Trabajo ELTRABAJO 87 and Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter all Tyler Vidalis VIDALES.
Cool.
Get us out of here, bud.
Yeah, I think that does it for episode 58. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Join us next week for Fast 9. I think that'll do it. We'll be RB.
Hey, everyone out there, you be excellent to each other, and we will be RB.
Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate the listen. Please like, comment, subscribe, as we would love to grow, and you are one of the only ways that we can do that. And we appreciate any way that you want to help out. And, ELE, everybody love everybody. And we'll talk to you guys later. BRB.
Yeah, found up with what Ty said, and everybody love everybody this month. I think as anybody's kind of seen is Pride Month, right, for LGBTQ. So please try to be accepting of people. People have different sexual preferences and things of that nature, but we're all human. We're all here. We're all trying to accomplish the same goals. So make sure you're open-minded, open-hearted, and accepting of everybody else, because you never know where somebody's at in their journey. And outside of that, we'll be RB. We'll see you next week, and keep pushing.
America. Ready for another lesson.
I was thinking about this the last week or so, especially as the French Open just finished up. But I think tennis needs to do something different with their content or something like that to really liven it up again.
Get it out there for the masses.
I think they have so many, especially women's tennis. The field in women's tennis is so much more open than men's tennis, because men's tennis for a long time has been, you had the big four for a while, which was Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, and Murray. Murray had that knee injury or hip
retired,
injury.
Right?
No, he's actually going to be playing in Wimbledon this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just hasn't been nearly as good.
Well, Nadal had that really serious knee issue for a couple of years there,
Nadal,
too.
I think it was his knee or his elbow, one of the two.
He probably both.
Yeah, true. He was gone for about 2 years, and then had about a year where he was trying to get back, and then finally got back to his original form. When he was gone,
it's crazy the longevity of those guys' careers. Federer's what,
Federer's,
50 now?
He's 40 something. He's older than Tom Brady, I think. Or actually, that might not be true. Hang on.
Do you think
I
we
think
set
Tom
the
Brady's 42 or something like that?
Federer is 39 right now.
God, but he's been playing since he's 18.
Right?
Right?
Yeah, he played when I think he played Agassi all the way back
that
then.
noise, man. That's crazy. That's like golf.
Yeah, but I just think, it is almost like golf, but tennis is way more hard on the body than golf is. The fact that
I don't know,
dude, come on,
high level golf
golf fucks your back up.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Think about how many knee surgeries Tiger's had and back surgeries.
Okay,
Exactly.
I'm not
That's
trying to say golf isn't physically taxing on the body, but compared to tennis where you're stopping and going and all that stuff. I think tennis and the elbow, you're stress and everything that can cause.
I don't know, man. I think if you went down to it, they'd probably be pretty similar to one another. I'm not saying one's maybe higher. I wouldn't be shocked if tennis was. How about I put it that way?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be shocked if tennis was. Okay. My gut tells me, having played golf, and just knowing dudes' wrists, their knees, their core, their back. I think those high level guys that have those long careers, you can do it, and your swing changes as you get older. There's no denying that too. So, yeah, maybe I guess too the window in golf is longer.
Yeah. But in tennis, you had the big four for a while. Now it's really only the three of them until Murray. I don't think he's ever going to get back to how he was. So now it's kind of the three of them. And Federer took off a year because of COVID, and he's just now started playing again. He hasn't been the same. Who knows if he'll be able to recover and get back to where he was. That's yet to be seen. But then you have Nadal and Djokovic, and it's just they are favorites. The four of them are always favorites to win and have been for over a decade now. Or over a decade now. It hasn't been that open, but But ever since Serena has fallen off, women's tennis, it's wide open.
Sure.
Any tournament, any major, you could have anybody win.
Sure.
And we've already seen quite a few of those
is
stories.
really good. Is it Naomi?
Naomi Osaka? Yeah, she actually had a lot of controversy this past French Open where she
self-withdrew, right?
Yeah, she did because she didn't want to talk to the press after her matches because she cited a lot of mental health issues and anxieties coming from that because you can tell when she does speak to the press or does interviews.
Just doesn't like it.
She's just you can tell just by the way she speaks. She is such a introvert and is just
like
not
Kimi Räikkönen.
I don't know that reference. Is that a Drive to Survive reference? Okay. There we go. But she's such an introvert, does not want to talk to the press, and is so new to this. And you could tell because she came out of nowhere, really.
Right, she was like 16 or something.
She was like 17, I think, when she won the U.S. Open for the first time. And you could tell right away she wasn't comfortable. And she's gotten better. You can see that growth. But like even then, she's just decided she was too much for her.
Brain isn't even close to being done at that point. Like, let alone your body.
But she was just gonna incur.
It's hard when you're young.
She was gonna incur all the fines and everything from the French Open and the tour. But then even then, they were like, you have to do these. Like, so
that's crazy.
She just withdrew. She was like, I don't want all this attention on me for doing this, so I'm just gonna withdraw from the tournament if it's that big of a deal. And she's now withdrawn from Wimbledon as well. She won't play in Wimbledon.
Zach Greinke did that early on in his career when he started getting really, really kind of noticed for how dominant he was, and he was on the Royals too. So there was like, and that was a time when they were awful. So he got a lot of attention. He was just like, I have social anxiety. I don't like doing this. And then he took like a year off, got everything kind of, started seeing sports psych and kind of got into it and stuff, and then came back and then was just unbelievable after that too, and has been one of kind of the more dominant ones. But even now, or dominant pitchers, but even now, you can, when he talks to the press, you can tell he just doesn't like it. Now everyone loves him for it because he's like an all-star, Cy Young winner, and everyone's like, well, he doesn't give a shit. But hopefully she can get that kind of turned around. And,
hopefully.
She's
so good.
Yeah, it's not her fault. Like let's be clear here. I'm not coming down on tennis's side. They should have fucked off. But
yeah, I mean, I saw Stephen A. Smith did a whole diatribe about it that I saw a clip of, and he sided with her. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him. He has some wild opinions, but
he does say some questionable shit. And
he kind of sided with her, and it was like agreeing with her. But then at the end of his whole diatribe, he goes, "Now let's be clear, though. You are an athlete, and you need to be public in that, so the tour and everybody can make their money off of these personalities." Which I do understand.
That's the tough part.
But you have enough people giving interviews. It's one person.
100%.
Yeah, like and I don't know. They should maybe just rethink that, and maybe it's a interview after a big match or towards the end of the tournament. Maybe the first few rounds you don't have to do the interviews, whatever it is.
I think she should be able to do what the fuck she wants.
Yeah, that too. Or if she just feels fine paying the fines and saying,
do whatever you like.
I think that's kind of where it lies with some athletes. Because I think some people forget. I mean, like, these are normal people. They're just very, 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 very good at sports.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's just some
they're athletes, not personalities.
Right, and I think that there's a greater portion of the population that competes because they like it. And it's what they want to do, not for fame. Then we like
exactly.
That's the majority of them, probably at this point.
Right.
Yeah, for every star there
playing
is
at that high level.
Yeah,
it becomes an attraction, but they're not playing it.
It starts with like athletic skill and everything in that sport, and then you have to develop the personality.
Right, like how many dudes are on a football team?
Dozens.
Yeah, I mean that's like 60
you guys, and you got like 3 stars.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
I guess tennis is different because again, it's not a team sport, but at the same time, how many people are in the circuit at any one time?
Hundreds.
Yeah, let the people that want to be stars be stars. Let the people that want to play.
I think most tournaments let in like 256 or 128 players, and then just narrow it down from
That's
there.
crazy that it's just 4 people come out of that, and they're just that heavily favored every time.
Every time, man. It's crazy. And I you can see all these up-and-comers and the younger men stars, but like, they still just get their shit rocked sometimes by Nadal and Federer when they're on their game.
But I just think next 20 years, with the globalized world, we're going to see just next-level athletes in every sport.
For sure, dude. You can just see, like, from now to, like, the 80s.
God, yeah.
Athletic sport.
I'm sure that
it's different.
The average age of, like, competitive sports has dropped by 10 years since we were young. Like
It's got to be. Yeah, people are excelling.
But
at
also,
shit at
but also
17 years
people are
old, dude.
competing
It's
longer than
crazy.
ever. Look at Tom Brady. Look
Yeah,
at
right.
Federer,
I mean,
because
those
of
people
rehab, because of therapy,
exactly
because
all
these
the
things you can
all
do
the
to keep
technology
playing.
and science that we had behind physical therapy and all that kind
yeah,
of stuff.
but I think for every Tom Brady, there's 50 dudes in the NFL with CTE that are offing themselves.
Oh, yeah.
for
too
sure.
many
Yeah.
years early.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they say in the NFL, I mean, they say it stands for not for long, and I think like the average career, I think is like 2.5 years. But
Yeah.
that's because there's 60-something people on a team. Like there's so many people you don't even know
Mm-hmm.
who just happen to play in the NFL, you know. And then obviously like your Tom Brady's, your Aaron Rodgers, your the best players in the league. But
Right.
everybody else, I mean, those people are those players who are 42 through 65 are just
Right.
like recycled every year. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. But I would love coming back to what I was saying originally.
Yeah.
I would love some kind of tennis docu-series or some kind of Drive to Survive thing for tennis because
I'd like every sport to get it.
yeah,
I love it.
I do too. I think it's great.
Is that like a sports psychology type thing or?
The show or
I'm not familiar with what you guys are referencing in like Drive to Survive.
oh, that's the
the-
Formula One show
yeah.
that Tyler and I have been talking about for the last couple
I
weeks.
gotcha.
Yeah, so it's just like an in-depth. It's just
Yeah.
like a Hard Knocks almost, but for Formula One.
Sure.
I think you will start seeing more of the stuff of that because esports, when you look at them, they kind of came up with YouTube, and so that all this video content has been synonymous with esports. Like every team now has like a videographer that's producing series and everything.
I
like
think
that.
Netflix, these streaming services would be super smart to team up with different sports
leagues
stuff.
or-
And
yeah.
it's
Oh,
guaranteed
100%.
moneymaker for them.
Yeah.
Dinero.
Disney,
See,
get on it. Or who's struggling? Paramount, find someone.
Paramount Plus.
they're thriving. Okay.
I walked by Tyler the other day at work and goes, "Yo, I'm subscribed to Paramount Plus." I was like, "That's a good one, Ty." Funniest thing I heard all day.